We are just going right into it. I did not think we were going to do that quickly, but underway we go, and Jeremy Smith leads off the start, but he goes down, and I see a wild Jeremy Siebold running everything incorrectly, running at the front. So Siebold needs to change his stuff. That'd be great. Jordan Lacoste, first time we've seen Lacoste in a while, back in the number 2 spot. Mullins in 3rd. Sillick, Whelan, Chapman, Kyle Robb, Andrew Wood, Dade Honeywell, Devin Davis, Walter Gebhardt. Jeremy Smith gets up outside the top 10. Reed Young coming through. And the top 9 will transfer out of this. They go 6 laps. And up front, Siebold, running Brady Stanley's setup, is leading them through. So once again, another case of someone not running their correct skins. It's always awesome when they do that. It just makes the stream look super awesome. So I'm not going to give Jeremy Siebold any credit at the front. He deserves no credit at the front, as Jesse Mullins runs in the 2 spot behind him. Bryce Whelan in 3rd, and then a host of other guys in a trail behind that. So hopefully you guys can all see what's going on the screen right now. My end, it looks like everything is live, and I'm just trying to reassure myself that we are actually live and that I'm not just confused. There we go. We are live, so I'm not missing anything. Mullins still runs. Actually, he just took over the lead, so Siebold went down while I was checking on the stream, making sure it's still good. Whelan trying to give chase in 2nd. Sillick has moved up to the 3 spot, and there is Russ Chapman cutting down underneath of him, and Honeywell also right there on the 24. Oh, Honeywell slides down the inside of Chapman and takes the spot back away. Oh, and then he goes down, so Chapman slides back through, and then I saw Siebold in the background get caught out. So Mullins is trying to pull away at the front of the field. Whelan is trying to catch him. And if you're just joining us, we streamed qualifying only a 45-minute session this evening, so these guys have pretty much only had about an hour total on this track to learn it, figure it out, understand what they're doing. And for those of you that have ever played MX Simulator, to pick up a track and be able to race it within an hour, not the easiest thing to do. It's actually really tough, and these are the best riders in the world right now in this opening heat race, trying to get things figured out a little bit still and not having their lines down perfect necessarily yet. You can see a couple of cases there, Mullins and Whelan making a couple mistakes, so Chapman's trying to catch up in the 3 spot. Devin Davis has slid into 4th. Sillick is 5th. DeSalle 6th. Honeywell in 7th. Siebold runs in 8th, but he just went down. Jeremy Smith is in the last transfer spot, and he will get there right behind Siebold. Reed Young outside looking in, as is Andrew Wood, Colton Mitchell, Jordan Lacoste, Walter Gebhardt, Mike Strelo, Devin Ryan, Alex Heckman, and Edward Mora. I'm not seeing anybody else behind that, so that must be all the people that are in the race still. But it's Mullins leading away at the front. Yeah, I rode the track a little bit. Just to answer a quick question in chat. Someone asking, have I rode the track? Obviously, I'm not racing this series, so I get a chance to kind of beta test these tracks a little bit early and see how it's going to play, and they asked for some feedback from me and stuff like that. And I think it's a very fun track. Chris, the track builder, Checkers, actually thinks that this is probably his least favorite track of the series. And so he's definitely looking forward to next week, though. You guys will want to tune in next week when we're back in Las Vegas for the finale. On the Las Vegas Strip, no less. So right now, this championship is still alive. Fresquez could have an opportunity to clinch tonight. He has a good sized gap, but he would need some misfortune and perhaps a win on his hand from some other riders. Mullins has got a comfortable lead at the front, so Chapman behind him is just settling in. Devin Davis running in the 3 spot. Has no pressure from behind, so he's just cruising right now. Honeywell has slipped back to 4th. Siebold regained himself and gotten back up into 5th. Jeremy Smith is in 6th now, so after hole shotting and crashing in the 2nd corner, he's charged his way all the way up inside of the 6th position. Bryce Whelan runs 7th. Chase DeSalle runs in 8th. And Silic has slipped back to 9th. And Reed Young is still 10th. So no real battles going on with these guys. Oh, Silic just went down, so Reed Young is going to take that spot away from him. So Reed Young now in a transfer spot. And Bryce Whelan has gone from 2nd to 8th in a matter of about a lap. White flag at the front, though, and Mullins has actually lost a little bit of time to Devin Davis, who is starting to charge up a little bit. Mullins, if he can't keep it on 2 wheels on this last lap, will have Devin Davis to deal with. He's getting through some lap traffic right now, getting around Alex Heckman. A little mistake there through the whoops. Davis just trying to keep things close. And Russ Chapman is keeping things real close to Devin Davis here. These guys are battling it out for the 2 spot here on the last lap. And here is Chapman trying to get to the inside. Puts Davis almost into the wall, but ends up putting himself into the wall. Meanwhile, up front, the number 9, Jesse Mullins, he brings it down. He's going to win heat number 1 here at the Rocky Mountain Challenge. Devin Davis just tiptoeing his way through the whoops. Has to deal with Alex Heckman on the wrong side of the track and backflips to finish. Chapman ends up in 3rd. Honeywell 4th. Seabolt in 5th. And Smith right behind him in 6th. All those guys in the 59s from 4th to 6th. Bryce Whelan should hang on here for 7th as 73 comes back on track. That's Gebhardt. DeSalle in 8th, and Silic looking to stamp his ticket to the main event here in 9th. As long as he gets through the whoops clean, he has got it. Just decides to double his way through and makes it. So Silic going to the main. Strelo ends up 10th, just misses out on a good, nice charge from outside the top 15 at one point. Awood also will not make the main out of the heat. Mitchell, Reed Young, Edward Mora not going through. Devin Ryan and Lacoste also not making it. Heckman a lap down. Gebhardt also a lap down. Kyle Robb must have rage quit there at the beginning, and Fred Heather also did the same. Cuts are in, and top 9 looks to have stayed the same. Actually, Jeremy Smith got around Jeremy Seabolt. But everybody else stayed the same, and your Heat 1 winner over here in the corner, number 9, Jesse Mullins. Trying to take the fight here to Fresquez in this championship. Doesn't want to go down without a fight. We'll see if that can play into his hands later on this evening. But right now we're moving on to Heat number 2. Tough luck, Osboy. Did not qualify. Well, hopefully, if you're not qualified tonight, you're going to join us here and watch the stream for the next few hours. I always like having an audience. So Fresquez came into this evening 16 points up on Matt Burkeen, but Burkeen not here after he just won the College Boy Championship down in Gatorback in Florida in the Minios. So no Burkeen tonight means that Mullins is the next closest, and Mullins would have to do a lot of work to keep the championship alive. He is 26 points back in the championship, so he needs to beat Fresquez tonight to keep this championship alive as we are underway. Heat number 2 and the Big 21 of Fresquez gets a great start, and he comes out with the hole shot. Looks like Zach Dupuy was trying to cut under, but Tyler Schmidt missed his braking point and went straight on in turn 1, so Fresquez comes out with the lead. Landry sits in the 2 spot, and Landry's going to try to go to work here on Fresquez, tripling in behind him. Fresquez fastest qualifier by nearly a second, and Landry going down in the background. So that moves Craig Richards into the 2 spot. Could be goodbye time here in this heat race for Tyson Fresquez. Untouchable in qualifying. And as we mentioned, could easily wrap up the title here tonight. Burkeen will be mathematically eliminated tonight if Fresquez basically finishes inside of the top 10 or better, as Burkeen is only 16 points down. Fresquez would basically need 10 points to mathematically eliminate him, and 10 points is a 12th place finish. So if Fresquez finishes 12th or better, Burkeen is mathematically eliminated from the championship going into the final round. And Mullins, being 26 points down, needs to finish ahead of Fresquez, as we mentioned, so Fresquez very easily could just wrap it up here before we even get to Vegas once again. Four rounds of 5, and Fresquez might be clinching this championship early. Hard to believe, but when you look at how good Fresquez is in this game, and when his pretty much closest counterpart, but also his compatriot on Team Volcom, Hunter Root, decides to not show up for these events, it becomes kind of a walkthrough for Fresquez. So Richards in second, not able to really catch him at the moment. Zoa Cross on the 250F has moved into third, but he just slides out. So Jake Rose also on a 250F moves into third. And down the inside, Zach Dupuis trying to get around 91. Zoa Cross ends up losing another spot to Jack Haley in the process. Haley trying to cut under Zoa Cross, coming through the whoops, almost contact there. And Haley going long on the finish line, and Zoa Cross is all out of shape off the side of the track here through the starting line structure, and Dupuis slides in behind him, almost contact. Dupuis not able to get the main rhythm through there, but hangs tight. Jack Haley now right in front of this group, taking an alternate line, entering the first rhythm section. All these guys electing to jump to the inside. Zoa Cross cutting the track there, so he's going to get some cuts. And making a little mistake, so Dupuis is really lurching up on him here, trying to make a pass. This is for fifth. Now Cross going back to work on Haley after a mistake, and there's going to be some contact here, and Cross goes down, so Dupuis slides through. Let's see if anybody else comes through. No, Cross gets going just in front of Tyler Schmidt, so Cross hanging on to the 6th spot. Schmidt is 7th. Holm jumping off the track in 8th. Armstrong slides through, so Holm back into the 9th spot, last transfer spot. James Armstrong now finds himself here in 8th. Holm a little mistake. Here comes Shipley and Frzaka, and Holm is stuck on the finish line jump. So now it is Shipley in the final transfer spot. Frzaka is going to try to go after him. And Shipley, just like every other week, superstitious or what have you, not running his gear or his bike. He's running Andrew O'Hagan's bike, and I believe this week he's running Brady Stanley's gear. Let's see. Nope, he's running, yeah, he is. Brady Stanley's gear, number 22. So I don't know what the deal is with Shipley. Never runs his own stuff. He's going to get a pass here on Zoa Cross by the looks of it. He's catching right up to him. So across on that 250F, really having to stretch things out. Shipley jumps into the back of him almost, and then gets hung up under the wall. Battle for 8th as Cross triples in. A little out of shape through the rhythm. Oh, and he goes down. That's it. Very unfortunate, as Frzaka is right there to take the final transfer spot away from him. And these guys are going on to lap 5 of 6, so only 2 laps to go. Frzaka needs just some smooth laps, and he'll make it. Oh, Dupuis trying to get up from a crash. What in the hell is that? How does Jeremy Shipley ride out of that? Gosh, it pisses me off when these guys have just the most random luck. I crash when I just barely slide out, and I don't even touch my head and I fall off the bike. Shipley slides on the side of his face all the way down the start straight. No big deal. Stands it back up, rides out of it. Here he goes down, though. That could be trouble. Here comes Holm and Zoa Cross, so we've lost Frzaka. Shipley trying to get going, but he's going to lose the final transfer spot, at least for now. He's coming back down the inside of Adam Holm into the whoops. And look at this four-rider train. Landry down the inside of Holm gets him. And then there's Frzaka and I believe another Tiger Designs rider back there. So Zoa Cross is in 8th. Shipley trying to get him down the inside here. And he will, but there's going to be some contact. And, oh, Shipley's down. Cross through. Oh, Cross gets T-boned by, that is Adam Holm. And so Frzaka comes through. Landry is now 8th. Frzaka 9th. And, oh, Burkeen is here this week. I guess I didn't see him, but Burkeen is here, so he did make it. Never mind about that whole championship implication I was talking about. But Burkeen is trying to make it in to the night show. Up front, Tyson Fresquez, we completely were missing the action at the front. Laid down another 58-1 and won that thing. Richards hung on for 2nd. Haley is good in 3rd. Schmidt in 4th. Armstrong 5th. Rose in 6th. Zach Dupuis is holding down 7th. Battle is on here in the last transfer spot. As Burkeen trying to run down his teammate Kevin Frzaka, and Burkeen 2nd in the championship, 16 points down entering this. Really needs to make the main, trying to show his teammate a wheel. They're certainly in the same team speak right now, I would assume, so they must be talking to each other. I wouldn't assume Frzaka to just let it go, but maybe he will here. Burkeen down the inside. Oh, and he just lawn darts straight off the track. What was going on there? Very strange maneuver. Burkeen will not be going to the main out of the heat then. That's huge in the championship as Frzaka makes the main in 9th. Landry able to get 8th, Dupuis 7th, Rose in 6th, Armstrong 5th, Schmidt 4th, Haley 3rd, Richards 2nd, and Fresquez taking that win. Him and Richards talking it out on the triple. Fresquez heading back to the paddock now. So Burkeen ends up 10th. That was interesting. Not sure what Burkeen was doing. Zoe Cross ends up 11th. Adam Holm tiptoeing in his jorts through the whoops. Should end up 12th or 13th as Moxie goes through and cuts her in. And if Burkeen would have actually stayed close, Frizaka had 2.24 seconds of cuts. So Frizaka stays in the 9th spot and everybody else stays in the same spot because nobody else in front of Frizaka had cuts. All right, Open Pro heats are in the books. We won't see these guys for another hour and a half to 2 hours at least before the Open Pro main, because coming up next, Open Pro-Am Heat number 1. Then there will be Open Pro-Am Heat 2. Open Amateur main event coming up later. Actually, so we will see some of these guys within a few moments. So Open Pro-Am Heat 1 and 2 coming up. And then after that is the shootout, 3-lap shootout. And 5 points on the line there. So Fresquez could really help out his cause by picking up a win in the shootout, which would make it even harder for Mullins. Mullins would have to beat him by a few places to keep the championship alive from his perspective. But Burkeen not even making the main could be a big deal. Regardless, let's move on to the Open Pro-Am division. Got about, looks like 18 or so riders lined up on the gate here, and we are underway. And I looked at a pretty good guy off the start. Justin Harper's got a good start, 120. That is Dwayne Cusano, I believe, down the inside. Might nip him for the whole shot. No, Harper ends up taking it on the 7-Eleven Next Level Racing KTM. Behind him, Cusano almost coughed up that spot. Did coughing up that spot to Heagney, but Heagney also made a mistake. Cusano another mistake, so this is what it's like going from watching the pros ride the track to these Pro-Am class riders. Still very talented, still no slouch in this game. It's a very hard game to learn as Harper goes down at the front, so Heagney's going to take over the race lead. But the pros just make it look so easy. And this is where most people in the game fall right here. Actually, most people would say 90% of the game fall in what would be the Open Amateur division. So we'll see that later on with the 22 rider main event coming on later in the program. But right now, this is featuring riders that I believe have an A license or a B license. They have to relinquish their pro license in order to be able to compete in the Pro-Am division. But it is an open class, so you can still ride a 450F, which is why these guys back here are on 450s. Cusano coming up short on the quad, coughs up the 2 spot to Stephen Cameron, who is actually on a 250. Oh, Cusano, a mistake. Here's Logan Leitzel. Oh, he's off the track, and Schuler nips him in the bud there, and he goes down. Eric Martin cuts underneath. Justin Harper, oh, looping his Larry. Gonna get passed by a couple Spark Motor riders there, Austin Eklund and Clint Martin. Look at this little group of riders here. Got 3 riders going into the same corner. A couple teammates here, Martin and Eklund, battling it out for what I believe is now 6th after a few crashes. Eklund a mistake. Here comes Martin, showing him a wheel. Eklund down. Oh, almost down at the end of the rhythm. Meanwhile, Schuler goes Burkeening off in the distance behind him. So that allows Sean Mullins through. I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, this must be a brother or a relative of Dale Mullins. No relation, either of those guys, to our multi-time Race Factory Gaming Outdoor Champion, Jesse Mullins. Leitzel down on the start straight. Lost a spot, but gets going still in transfer. So let's see what's going on at the front. Heagney is still pulling away, looking smooth. Nobody's touching him. Cusano not even really keeping close tabs on him. Cusano trying to get saucy on the triple. Nice little whipper tail. So here comes Heagney to Click on a lap number 4. These guys go 5 laps instead of 6. So 2 laps to go now for Higney. Riding a nice race at the front. Eric Martin is actually closing in a little bit on Cusano. And Clint Martin, no relation, I believe. I don't think Eric or Clint are related. Eric Martin goes down. Actually, I know these two aren't related because Clint's last name is actually Skriha. Don't know why he runs Martin. Seems to be a similar thing with the Aussies, though, like James Andrews. Real name is James Back, but, you know. But Higney has a nice, comfortable lead. We got a battle here between Eklund and that is Leitzel and Sean Mullins. Mullins a little mistake, though. Losing some time to Leitzel. Oh, Eklund out of shape coming into this corner. Gathers it up. Leitzel's off the track, and here's Sean Mullins. About to maybe be passed by Stephen Cameron. Oh, Leitzel's off the track. Gets going in front of Benny Geel and Justin Harper. So Harper trying to get that last transfer spot, and he does it with a nice move down the inside of Benny Geel. Oh, and Geel short on the triple. I don't know how he rode out of that one. Whoa, riders down everywhere. Harper, and that is Leitzel down, I believe. So Schuler squeaks through, and that is now 8th. So Geel gets up in 9th. Matthew Perez is 10th. Leitzel has lost a transfer spot. So Geel's trying to go after Schuler while Perez is closing in and might show Benny Geel a wheel or two here as Geel makes a couple mistakes. Here comes Perez making some mistakes of his own. Leitzel is lurking in the background, cuts the track there. He's trying to make the pass on these guys. Geel in the last transfer spot goes down, so Perez takes it for now, but Leitzel's trying to get in there. Oh, and Schuler's down. So Leitzel's going to move into the last transfer spot. Perez now in the distance. Stephen Cameron, Sean Mullins, Eklund, Martin, Cusano, Clint Martin, and Logan Higney. It's a Spark Moto 1-2 right here, and 2 guys that are on 250Fs for that matter. It's the open class, and yet got some 250Fs leading it. Eric Martin. Oh, they both go down. Cusano and Eric Martin both down. And that's the 59 of, forget what his name is, but he's just going through as a lapper. And that was also the 253 of another lapper. Up front, though, Logan Higney has led pretty much from the very beginning of this race all the way to the end of it now. Did not get the whole shot, but took the lead right away after it. And he's just trying to cruise his way through. Comes up a little short in the rhythm section there, but no harm, no foul. Through the final corner and down through the whoop section, the 196 Spark Moto machine of Logan Higney takes the win in heat number 1 of the Pro-Am class. Clint Martin, his teammate, makes it a Spark Moto 1-2 in this heat. So they're looking good going into the main event now. Oh, and we might have a Spark Moto 1-2-3 as Eklund has moved into the 3 spot now. Wow. So Spark Moto, debut ride for these guys too. This is the first time we've seen the Spark Moto team. 1, 2, 3 in the Pro-Am class. Sean Mullins, he comes through in 4th. Cusano dropped back to 5th by the end of it. Eric Martin also dropped a few spots to 6th. Perez and Schuler going at it through the whoops to the line. Is Schuler going to pick up another spot to the line? Side by side, but Perez hangs on, and Stephen Cameron takes the last transfer spot. Logan Leitzel is stuck on the finish line. He just misses out. Justin Harper and Buddy Parker battling to the line, and they both actually make a mistake, so it's not over yet. This is just for gate pick in the LCQ at this point, though. Parker down through the whoops will get that spot. Here is Hockey and Harper through the whoops. Harper blitzes through the whoops and ends up going down, but over the line. Hockey gets up in front of Benny Geel. Kevin Davis, Jaden Fabry, that's the 59 machine. Jack Leah, Colby Eglund, Chris Schmeider, all those guys not finishing. Cuts are in, and Stephen Cameron hangs on as Logan Lightsell. I saw he had cut the track at one point. Ends up with 4.3 seconds of cuts, so he would have lost it anyway, I think, if he would have beat Cameron to the line. Schuler, Perez, Martin, Cusano, Mullins, Eklund, Martin, and Heagney going through out of this one. On to heat number 2. That's pretty neat, says Grant's Mod, a.k.a. Vital MX's own Grant Dawson, hanging out in chat tonight. How's it going, Dawson? Yes, Seabolt, change your skins, you nubbin. I hate having 2 Brady Stanleys on the stream. It's stupid. You already have a skin. You've been running it for the last 3 weeks. Just run that one again. Why you gotta be different? I don't understand what's so hard about it. Alright, Pro-Am heat number 2 is underway here. Looking at Doug Oakley on the start. He's got a pretty good jump. Is he going to shut the door going into turn 1? He's trying to. Riesenberg gets into the back of him, and Oakley comes out with the whole shot as everybody else stacks up on the outside of the corner. Then Oakley Madskills motocrosses his way down into the first section, so Caleb White takes over the lead until Max Spoke slides down the inside and takes that spot away. Austin Bear lands on Caleb White in the background, so that's going to cause another pileup. And as long as he stays on 2 wheels, Max Spokes is going to get away scot-free as everybody's down in the rhythm section. More people collecting, and Michael Hodge down at the end of the rhythm section. There's still crashing going on, and they're stacking in. It's just like nobody has any racing respect in these lower level classes. Oh, there's a bunch of people down. Pardon me while I quad into the corner and land on the back of everybody. It's like, come on, guys, slow down. Use your brakes. They're in the game for a reason. As I mentioned, though, Max Spokes, nice, healthy lead over the line to complete lap number 1. Unable to clear the finish line jump, as Brandon Cummings is in second, but he's out of shape. Looks like he might OJ the finish a bit. Carson Forkham sits in third. He's doing a little of a Ronnie Mack impression, ends up going down with Cummings. So Cimaroc goes through, Bear is into third, Hodge into fourth, Cummings gets up in fifth. And Carson Pickle My Tickle goes into 6th. Forkham back to 7th. Lane Burks is in 8th. And Tyler Fry in the last transfer spot. But now Carson Tickle is down, as is Michael Hodge and Lane Burks. So here comes the 742 also going down. That's Gunnar Barbie. And there's Doug Oakley slicing through with Lane Burks getting up from his crash. And Braden L. slicing around Tickle, taking him to the ground as here's Riesenberg coming through. It's all kicking off in this amateur class, and Riesenberg is now behind Braden L. and Lane Burks, and oh, contact. Braden L. messes up the rhythm, and Riesenberg lands on the back of him. Doug Oakley holds down the final transfer spot. Oh, Bear down under the tunnel, and Oakley gets hung up, and Bear is off the bike, so Tickle is going to take the spot away. And Lane Burks is having a little bit of a Enduro Man off-road excursion outside of the tunnel there. So Oakley now in 7th. Tickle actually 8th, so Burks is in the final transfer spot. So Bear is going to have to regroup and try to go after him. Actually had the pass made on Carson Tickle till he slid out. Tickle's going to nail the triple and end up right behind Austin Bear. So battle for the last transfer spot still on here. Tickle going for the quad, sending it for the kids. Jumps off the track in the background. So Carson Tickle, famed for being the younger brother of Brock Tickle, but is also a real-life pro in his own right, has made several nationals this past year in the 450 class. Trying to go after that final transfer spot right now, currently held down by Austin Bear. Not for long. Tickle takes it and gets Carson Forkham in the same pass. So now Forkham in the last transfer spot as Bear and Riesenberg are trying to close in. So Chris has had some experience on this track, having created it, and he's going to try to run down these guys for the last transfer spot, currently trying to go to work on Austin Bear, and this would be for the 10 spot right now. Oh, contact though, saves it. Bear makes a mistake. Oh, and we got, that's who's down right there? That's a lapped rider? No, Hodge. That was Hodge down. Tickle gets around Forkham. Bear is down at the end of the whoops. and Riesenberg slides through. Tickle and Riesenberg pick up a few spots together. Riesenberg is now 8th behind Carson Tickle, and that puts Bear into the final transfer spot. Oh, it's entertaining as can be to watch these amateur races, I'll tell you. So Riesenberg can see Tickle in front of him. Has an inside line on him here. Oh, almost some contact. They both end up taking the same lines basically on the way out, but Riesenberg messes it up. Doug Oakley's down before the triple, and he's trying to get going, but he's sideways. He's going to get passed here by Tickle, who's jumping over him on the triple right now. And then Tickle's off the track and down. There's lappers everywhere here as Riesenberg goes through. Bear ends up now in 8th, and Forkum is 9th, I believe. Yes. Oh, but Forkum goes down. Yeah, I thought he was going to say that for a second, but he goes down. Riesenberg was down. He's back to the final transfer spot. So Tickle back up to 8th after he crashed. Oakley is stacked up in the corner here with a lapper of some sort. I believe that might be the 317 of Branson. Could be wrong, though. Let's actually go back and confirm. It's actually Ricky Hardman. 317 is normally Cody Branson, though. Up front, Cimaroc cruising from Fry. Cummings, Spokes in 4th. Burke's now up to 5th. Bear finds himself in 6th. All the action going on back here as Tickle's up to 7th. Riesenberg now 8th with Oakley in 9th. Forkum is the closest to these guys to be able to do anything. They're mixed in with lappers as Riesenberg goes down and Oakley goes through. Is Forkum going to get the spot? There he comes, and there he goes. Forkum into the last transfer spot. So Riesenberg's got to regroup and go after him. Meanwhile, white flag for Cimaroc out front. Oh, Forkum hung up on a lapper, and Riesenberg takes the spot back just like that. And we got another rider down, but that was a lapper. So Riesenberg, pressure cooker, in the final transfer spot right now. Forkum giving chase, stretching out the rhythm section, jumping off the track, trying to hold on, and ends up going down. So that'll spell the end of his chances unless Riesenberg crashes again. I haven't talked much about him, but Cimaroc took the lead here on lap 3. And has led all the way through since, looking very smooth, calculated. Oh, gets hung up there though. Trying to weave his way through. Oh boy. He's got to keep it on 2 wheels here. Riders end up getting in front of him, and he's going to go down into the final corner, but again, somehow lands on the side of his body and rides out of it no problem, of course, and wins the race. Cale Cimaroc, winner of heat number 2 here in the Pro-Am division. Fry coming to the line will get 2nd. Cummings should get 3rd. Spokes getting up in 4th. Austin Bear, good ride to get up to 5th after being in that mix of people at the back. Doug Oakley was trying to go after him, but just made a mistake. Lane Burks now back to 7th. Michael Hodge is 8th, and Forkum is 9th, but Tickle is making contact, and Riesenberg goes around both of them to get into 9th. Yes, that is 9th. So Forkum trying to get a little desperate there with Tickle cost both of them a chance at transferring. And as long as Riesenberg stays on 2 wheels, I don't think they're going to have another chance. Tickle's going for it, though. He's trying to close in. He's trying to get things close. He's going to get the triple into the rhythm in the background. Oh, and he's tripling off the track sideways, and he's down. So Riesenberg, yep, realizes what happened and is going to take his time through the whoops and transfer to the main event with a front flip for style. So Tickle probably furious with Forkum there. Forkum was trying to get the last transfer spot away, forced the issue, and there was contact between the two of them. And so Tickle and Forkum both end up missing out. Cuts are in. Riesenberg hangs on. Michael Hodge gets Burks. And Bear moves up to 4th around Spokes, who had some cuts, but Cimaroc hangs on for the win. Wow, crazy, crazy action here in this Pro-Am division. Woo! Oh. All right, coming up next will be the Pro Shootout, which should feature your top 6 qualifiers, and I will go ahead and make sure that I know exactly who those qualifiers are and that they are all in either via winning their heat race. We saw Mullins and Fresquez win the heats, So they had to either be top 6 in qualifying or win their heat. But I assume Mullins and Fresquez both were actually top 6. I'm pulling up the qualifying sheet right now. So this shootout is 3 laps, the top 6 qualifiers on the evening. And those top 6 qualifiers will be Fresquez, Jeremy Smith, Jeremy Shipley, Jesse Mullins, Jack Haley, and Dade Honeywell. And those 6 riders will go for 3 laps. The winner will pick up 5 bonus points towards the championship in the SX Madness Series. Second place picks up 2 bonus points, and third place picks up 1 bonus point. So there's points to be earned in this shootout coming up here. Fresquez, Smith, Shipley, Mullins, Haley, Honeywell. About to go to battle here in this one. Oh. All right, shootout time. 3 laps. Take a look at Shipley all the way on the inside. Haley, Honeywell, Fresquez, Mullins, Smith, and Shipley jumped the gate. So we are underway. And Fresquez has got a good jump, but Smith is going to hug it tighter and try to cut him off, but no contact. And they all cleanly make it through, 3 wide actually in the background, and they're all tripling into the corner back here. So it's Fresquez leading away from now Smith, and Haley moves into the 3 spot ahead of Mullins. So this is the 2 we wanted to see at the front. Smith has probably been the fastest in the series other than Fresquez, but Smith unfortunately had a computer issue at round 1. Oh, and he goes down and comes back on track right in front of Jack Haley, and that caused a little bit of an issue. So now Shipley moves into the 2 spot. This is just so dangerous for the rest of the field as Fresquez is currently pulling away at the front already. 5 more bonus points is the last thing the rest of the field wants to see tacked onto Fresquez. Is already a 16-point lead on Mullins. Or on Burkeen, actually. Mullins 26 points down. Burkeen is 16 points down. But Burkeen not even in the main event tonight yet. He has to go through the LCQ tonight if he wants to make the main, keep this championship alive. Fresquez trying to put this thing out of reach for everybody else, including Mullins, who's in this one. Nobody keeping it close. Shipley makes a mistake, and Honeywell might make the pass here. Into the corner, side by side. Oh, Shipley holds him off. Oh, and Shipley another mistake, so Honeywell gets through now. Oh, and Smith gets together with Haley on the triples, so Mullins now back into the 4 spot trying to get some bonus points, and Shipley's off the track in front of him and really now off the track and down, so Mullins is going to pick up a bonus point if he stays right where he is. But he wants to get maybe around Honeywell. He really wants to get around Fresquez, but at this point, I don't think anybody's going to do that. Fresquez is smooth and pulling away at the front. So Fresquez here halfway through the last lap has got no competition right now from Honeywell. Probably could even slide out or tip over or something and still hang on for this win. So coming down to the finish, Fresquez taking a big step right here in wrapping up the championship before we even go to Vegas by winning the shootout here at the Rocky Mountain Challenge. 5 extra points. His tally now goes up to 82 points. Honeywell ends up with a second. Mullins will get a bonus point in third, so he was on 51 points. Wow, nice landing. Shipley ends up fourth, Smith fifth, and Haley in sixth. So yeah, Fresquez was on 77. That will now go to 82 points. Mullins was on 51. And as I said, that will now go to 52 with the one bonus point from this. So he is 30 points back, which means that basically with Fresquez already winning a round, Mullins would have to win out from here, and Fresquez would have to finish third or worse tonight to keep the championship alive. So if Mullins wins here tonight and Fresquez finishes third or worse, he does not clinch the championship. But that's also not factoring in Burkeen necessarily just yet. Burkeen's still perhaps going to try to make it through the LCQ. If Burkeen does make it through the LCQ, for example, Fresquez now on 82, Burkeen on 61 points, would be 21 points back, obviously. And we're about to find out whether or not Matt Burkeen will make it through the LCQ. Let's see. I'll actually watch him on this start. So Burkeen would be 21 points back, which means that he could finish a few spots behind Fresquez in the main event this evening
joined your channel
and keep the championship alive. But otherwise, Fresquez pretty much going to wrap up this championship tonight unless a major disaster happens, as Chris Riesenberg now joins us in the chat.
Don't forget double points next week, though.
Oh, yeah, double
5.
points. I forgot about that. So he will not actually wrap it up right away, but taking a huge chunk at making it pretty impossible for those guys to win it next week. So Burkeen needs to make it through this LCQ badly, and he starts the night in this one in second. Now Reed Young has the lead, Burkeen tailing him, and Lacoste is right there in third. And Moxie up to fourth with Haskell in fifth.
Reed Young, a little mistake up front. Going to allow Burkeen to close up a bit.
Burkeen a mistake himself. Lacoste down the inside ends up not stuffing Burkeen, but had an opportunity to.
Keep an eye on Colton Mitchell. He's back there in sixth. He came from way back in his heat race.
Yeah, surprised not to see Mitchell make it out of the heat race. So he's got to get through, well, now Lacoste, as Haskell has just gotten around Jordan Lacoste. Burkeen going to work on Reed Young for the lead, though. Battle at the front.
And final transfer just changed hands as well, and changes hands again. Shack Attack goes right back around Colton Mitchell as Mitchell got around him with a mistake.
Mitchell tripling into the corner. Shaq using the inside line there. Stepping on, and stepping off, and tripling into the corner. Mitchell keeping things close, going to use the inside line here. Pulls alongside, but Haskell hanging on. Mitchell, oh, I thought he was going to shove it down the inside there.
Gotta be a little bit patient. It is a short race, though. Haskell getting that double around the inside that we've been seeing from Fresquez tonight. He's going, trying to work on third place. Mitchell pushing these guys all together.
Lacoste not able to triple in. Shaq does get the triple in, and he's going to almost pull alongside. Will pull alongside, and Lacoste goes down.
Wow,
Mitchell.
Shack Attack leaned in on him in the corner. Surprisingly, doesn't get punted. Now Mitchell's the benefactor.
Yeah, moves
Lacoste
into the
gets
4th spot.
Ethan Parks into 5th now. He's on the outside looking in as Mitchell's still working on Shack Attack. Brian Haskell, the 371 machine.
Haskell stretching out the quad and lands on Mitchell. Mitchell was really trying to slam the door shut there. Very aggressive from Colton Mitchell.
Burkeen has taken the lead out front, but the battle for the last transfer spot is definitely not cooling down anytime soon. Two-time Supercross champion, Mr. Brian Haskell, has the spot. A lot of experience there. Ethan Parks wants it, though. And Lacoste goes down and kind of crashes himself out of the battle here with about a lap and a half to go.
So Devin Ryan will move up to 6th, but really it's Haskell trying to hold off Parks, but Parks makes another mistake. So Haskell's really got to just keep it on 2 wheels here. Whoa. Little mistake out of Haskell. Oh, Parks is down at the end of the rhythm section, so Ryan's going to move into the 5 spot.
Ryan looks like he's putting the charge on right now. He's got about a 7.7 second lead and a whole lot of lag going with him. So he's got to make something happen or hope for a mistake from Shaq, which Jack is in that big group of riders, including Mitchell and
Oh!
Reed Young, who's on the ground. Haskell going to get around him
Wow.
without going down, but that's going to bring Devin Ryan right into the mix with Reed Young with 1 to go.
Yeah, Reed Young's got to keep it on 2 wheels now. Devin Ryan behind him. Both of these guys seem to be lagging a little bit. I see like Rooster Trails following Reed Young like 3 seconds behind him. And actually Haskell got around Mitchell. Burkeen clearing away at the front, gonna win this one, or at least transfer even if he crashes. But it looks like he's gonna be smooth. So Haskell's gonna try to hold off Colton Mitchell coming to the line here.
Oh, Haskell with the mistake. Mitchell just going to kind of check up. Just wants to get into that main event at this point, I'm sure.
Haskell swapping in the whoops, but makes it. Mitchell through. And Reed Young gonna just, looks like, hold off Devin Ryan. Yes, he will. Ryan got close in the end. But a 1.5 seconds back, and he is gonna go to the seats to watch the main events tonight. Parks, Awood also not going. Strelo out. Adam Holm, first race back for Holm in a while. He's not going through. Edward Mora, Zoe Cross rage quit. Moxie quit. Gebhardt, Branson, Lacoste. Kyle Robb, surprised not to see him making the main. Brock Pappy. Jeremy Shipley not making the main either. Heckman, Nycott.
Shipley quit his heat race too, so I'm not sure exactly what the deal is there.
Yeah, that is weird. We just saw Shipley, I'm pretty sure, finish 4th or 5th in the shootout, so he was here for the shootout, one of the top qualifiers, but yeah, it did not show up to play tonight in these LCQs. Cuts are in. Top 4 stay the same. Actually, Devin Ryan had a gamut of cuts. 3.6 seconds of cuts in the end there.
Pro-Am.
So how's
Pro-Am LCQ coming up.
Yeah, how's running the race going so far?
I think it's going well. I feel like we're bumping right along too, which is good. Trying to get this thing done and over with as quickly as we can for those guys on the East Coast and everyone in Europe and whatnot that's staying up late to be here.
Yeah, you're motoring through, that's for sure. I think we're actually, if not right on schedule, a little bit ahead of schedule. Let me take a look. We're in the Pro-Am LCQ, which was supposed to start 7 minutes ahead. So we are 7 minutes ahead.
Good news, short lap times obviously helping out with that as well.
Yeah. Whoa! Somebody was about to rip a hole shot. I think that was Cliff Robinson, and he just took out the entire field.
Robinson actually got taken out. I'm not sure who came out and nailed him, but somebody did.
721, I believe, was the number. Let's see if I can find who that was.
Maybe the 121 of Tommy Zimmerman. He was being a brilliant person.
721 of Caleb White.
All right.
Was the one that went straight on. So up front, Colby Eglund over Hockey, Zimmerman, and Forkham in the transfer spots.
My boy Carson Forkham running in the number 4 spot. That a boy Carson. I think he just moved up to this class this week. I believe he was riding the M class previously.
Yeah, moved up into this class and moved up into the 3 spot after Zimmerman made a mistake in that long rhythm. Now Forkham doubling his way through, has Zimmerman closing back in. They got to watch out for Kevin Davis, no relation to Devin Davis, closing in from the 5 spot.
Oh, 3rd and 4th cross jump Carlin on the finish line. Don't quite come together though, saving it. Kevin Davis with a mistake, not quite falling off the bike though. That's going to give him some help to stay in this race. Gunnar Barbie runs in 5th now, trying to get into a transfer. Hockey was leading down actually on the outside. 2nd through 4th are all out of shape.
Oh yeah, Forkham gets into Zimmerman, who is down, and Barbie slides through for now. As Hockey's off the track, Barbie's off the track.
Forkham goes into 2nd, and then he goes down.
4 riders, and yeah.
Eglund was down.
Eglund over the berm. We got 4 riders notched together. Look at this. 4 riders all in the air over the triple.
Hockey's down now.
And he takes Barbie with him, and that is Eglund sliding through.
And Logan Leitzel is going to move on through, and Cross jump Carl,
Oh.
Mr. Forkham, and Forkham stays on the bike though. He's still got a shot at this, as does Hockey.
Change for the lead at the front as Davis and Zimmerman are going at it, but Davis holds on.
Robinson just went cartwheeling into the corner before the over-under and cleans Gunner Barbie from behind. Holy crap, it's all kinds of chaos.
Oh man, I know you were in those heats, but
Davis is down now.
It was chaos
Yeah,
in the heat races.
Ridiculous. Your leader, Tommy Zimmerman.
And here
Logan
comes
Leitzel's come from way back though.
Yeah, he's sliding through the pack and about to slice his way into the lead here down the inside into the first section. He takes it, but not for long. Zimmerman fighting back.
These guys can just chill out and not crash. They'll make it to the main event.
Yeah, Zimmerman doesn't get the memo yet, though. Finally, Leitzel takes the lead as Zimmerman almost goes down.
The
Eglin
Bodie
and Hockey.
Parker machine on the number 15 is in 5th, and he's trying to move forward right now to capitalize on Kyler Hockey, the 169 for the last transfer.
Oh, Hockey a mistake. Here comes Parker, gets the on and the other on off and gets the spot. Hockey trying to show
no
him
one
the
to be
wheel.
aggressive. Let's see what he's going to do here. If he can keep his cool, he still has a shot at this thing. They're going to be getting the white flag when they come around.
Yeah, it looks like Parker may have a little bit of lag too, so that might be playing into the fact that Hockey's not able to do anything just yet.
Leitzel leads him around the last lap. Zimmerman, Eglin, and Bodie Parker right now have your transfer spots. Kyler Hockey wants the spot. They have a pretty solid lead over Robinson, so I think these 5 are going to fight it out or crash it out maybe. And as I said that, there goes Hockey.
Yeah, Eglin made a mistake coming into that rhythm and trying to get him back. Has a good line here, but messes the rhythm up, so Hockey's getting away clean here.
Hockey panic revving over the triple. Looks like he's riding really aggressively for having the final transfer.
Yeah.
Eglin maybe just going to try to capitalize on a mistake.
They have caught Tommy Zimmerman as, now Eglin is right there, and Bodie Parker almost jumps onto the back of Zimmerman. Leitzel's going to take the win as Parker's rejoining the track, and Hockey down the inside tries to light him up, but to the line. They're both going to make it in. Bodie Parker, very smart riding not to get taken down there and gets the transfer spot. Eglin out. Harper coming to the line with Robinson cutting the bales and putting him over the berm.
Good way to get banned for something that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, that
all,
was,
by the way.
That was pretty stupid. So Robinson over the line. Harper ends up in 7th. Davis, who was leading at one point, not going to the main, in 8th. Braden L sliding out underneath the tunnel. Gunner Barbie got tackled from behind, but he's not going to the main. Jack Leah is dealing with Bodie Parker still riding around after the finish. All the reasons why that tell people to stop after the finish. And Jaden Fabry cruising. Forkham out, White out. Only 14 guys started this LCQ.
Wait for our last rider to come around here and get finished up. Let him go on his victory lap, or maybe not such a victory lap for him.
Just taking a look at our race winner now, Logan Leitzel. Struggled in his heat race, but found the consistency here. Just waiting on Jack Leah. Cuts are now in. Top 4 stay the same. Parker, Hockey, Zimmerman, Leitzel to the main out of this one. We'll see these guys in the main event in just a little bit.
All right, I'm going to build some main events here.
Yeah, that race just ended, Chris, as it was supposed to start. So we are that far ahead of schedule.
Line up. Shit.
Open amateur main event, so I assume it's still 10, 12, 15 for the laps?
Yep, it is 10,
Okay.
12, and 15.
After the last time we raced, Daytona was 8, 10, 12?
Yeah.
Okay. So coming up now, Open Amateur main event. We have not seen these guys basically at all tonight on the stream, although they did partake in qualifying earlier. So they've been kind of sitting around, whether they've been playing the track or not. I've been hanging out in the server waiting for this main event to come. And it is the warm-up lap. And once again, out of virtual memory. How did that happen for the second time? Fortunately, just the warm-up lap. Any day I want to load back in. Ba-da-ba.
And we just have a little bit of a lineup check going on. Nothing major.
There we go.
All right, well, once you get loaded in, you are loaded in. I'll let you give a quick rundown. Let's run this race.
Yeah, we got Roland, Carvalho, Stinson, Tunnel, wait, who's that? Burdine, yeah, Saunter, Wilson, Bartlett, Olver, Dawson, Cunningham, Curry, Scott, Mullins, Garachi, Harlan, Williams, Phytosa, Billy Kunitz, JTD, Sonny Edmondson, and that is the 21 of the Jake Warden actually timed out.
Yeah, he's here. He timed
Okay.
out, but he is back in the race, and here we go.
I didn't realize this, but outside the stadium, Chris, you have all these tall jumps.
Oh, yeah, that's my jump template out there. I didn't fly in it. It's outside the stadium. No one cares.
All right, 10 laps. Open amateur class. I'm excited to see these guys. If that Pro-Am class was any indication of the excitement we're about to see out of these guys.
For sure. I'm watching the 243 of Grant Dawson out on the outside. He's in P1 right now. Gate about to go down, and it's down.
We are
Looks like
racing.
he's got a great start along with the number 50 on the inside and a couple other guys. To the bales they go. The
Stacking
50,
up,
though,
yeah,
gets
and they
pushed
all
into
go
him.
wide. Simon Saunter on the
Saunter
two-stroke.
Sneaking around the inside and
Oh!
then sneaking face first into the dirt, taking Alex Cunningham with him. So now Nick Carvalho and Marcondes Phytosa.
Phytosa, the Brazilian
Phytosa
at the
quadding
front.
up.
Yeah.
Goes into the lead, and Carvalho runs in the 2 spot. Blake Curry running in the 4 spot now as Dale Mullins has made his way around.
So Carvalho, Mullins, Curry, D in the side of the top 5. Saunter ends up 6th after crashing right there out of turn 1. Saunter was the winner in the Open Amateur class last time we raced at Daytona, so going for it here again tonight. Keyboard Warrior had the start, but unfortunately went down coming out of that first corner, and Phytosa leads the opening lap.
Yeah, Phytosa was, I remember, really good. I believe at round 2 of the series, maybe even round 1. Don't remember how he was at Daytona, but looking good right now, out in the lead, quadding up down the rhythm. He's got about 6 seconds away from Blake Curry now.
Curry trying to do the same line, comes up a little short, and then Carvalho also making a little mistake, allowing Adrian Wilson to sneak in.
Yeah, it's pretty spread out early on, which means lappers are probably going to come into play pretty early in the race.
Very true. Contact between Wilson and Carvalho sends Carvalho to the ground, and Saunter's going to go through. Carvalho gets up still ahead of JTD, though, so that's just an indication of how far these guys are spread out. Carvalho crashes in 3rd, only loses 1 spot.
Only 10 laps will help a bit with the lapper situation, but these fast front guys are looking really solid.
We got a train of riders back here in about 5th, backwards. JTD, Carvalho, Kyle Scott makes the pass on Carvalho, and then that's Dale Mullins sliding down the inside of both Carvalho and Austin Bartlett with Alex Cunningham in the background.
Phytosa's anchor's out. He was actually back to 4th. Now he's back up into 3rd after two-stroke warrior went down, but Blake Curry out front now. Adrian Wilson finds himself in second. Vitosa finds himself on the ground again. JTD gonna move by.
Or not. JTD
Or not.
down, and here comes that huge train of riders exiting the rhythm section. Saunter there. Kyle Scott cuts like 4 timing gates by the looks of it right there. Ends up in front of Saunter going into the corner, and then blows the rut, and Dale Mullen slides down the inside, and Saunter almost jumps on the back of both of them as they're almost 3 wide in the rhythm section. And that is somebody jumping over top of JTD just a second ago. Bartlett, but he goes off the track.
Give it up to Saunter, not only riding the two-stroke 250, but also doing it on a keyboard and putting her in a podium spot right now.
Yep.
He is the keyboard king. Give it up.
Mullins tried to shove it down the inside and makes contact. Scott almost goes over the berm, and a 3-for-1 move there by JTD, and he boner air Leclerc's his way down the rhythm section and off the track and slides back on right in front of Kyle Scott, who slides through back into the 3 spot. This guy's changing all kinds of positions.
Oh, Curry down with the lead. Adrian Wilson down in second, though. Here comes Kyle Scott to make up some time, but he's not going to be able to overtake the positions. Blake Curry now lagging out hardcore.
Yeah. Whoa, big time.
I have a pretty good idea what's probably going on there, but anyways, back to the racing action.
Adrian Wilson has unofficially taken the lead. Well, Curry's back for the moment. Wilson is second. Scott has moved into third and is charging up on these guys after their crash. JTD is bringing Mullins, Bartlett, Saunter, and Cunningham, and Vitosa, and Carvalho with them. All these guys inside of the top 10 here. Swapping positions as Cunningham gets into Vitosa and puts him on the ground.
All kinds of action here in the open amateur main event. We're getting close to the halfway point of the race, so let's do a little top 10 rundown brought to you by versuspc.com. That's right, it's no longer versus-pc, although you can use that. It is just versuspc.com. Versus Performance Computing brings you your leader, Blake Curry, as he lags out yet again.
Sort of brings you your leader.
Right. Adrian Wilson runs in the number 2 spot, with Kyle Scott all over him now. Kyle Scott laid down a 106 last time around, looking solid. And as I say that, he's looking into the bales. JTD might be the man on the move right now as he runs in the number 4 spot. Austin Bartlett coming around in 5th as he goes around the inside of the off camera. Makes a little mistake, going to give up the spot to Dale Mullins, now in 5th. Alex Cunningham now going to jump all the way up in there.
He's in 5th now, yeah.
And those hay bales are there for no reason at all except to run over, clearly, for the 141 machine. Now running in 5th. Dale Mullins drops into 6th. Austin Bartlett falls to 7th. 8th place, Nick Carvalho on the 120. Our keyboard kings drop back to the 9th spot, making a few too many mistakes, although he does have a fast 106.1 lap time for this AM class. And rounding out your top 10, Christian Burdine. He rounds out the versuspc.com top 10. Marcondes Vitosa going to try to capitalize on his mistake, is now your 10th place rider on the number 63. Back at the front of the field, Blake Curry is back in action. Back in, you can see him again. It's a magic man.
I just realized, but you don't have the Rith MX skins, but Christian Burdine has no fork tubes. He just running with a wheel.
He has true air suspension. Extremely lightweight. Curry now in those lappers that we were talking about that they were going to experience. 6 laps in, about half the race to go. A 7-second lead over Kyle Scott, and JTD still battling it out here for the number 2 spot.
Yeah, they both actually got around Adrian Wilson.
And riders down in front of him. JTD going to take over the number 2 spot with that.
Well, not for long with that kind of a line. Ends up on the other side of the track,
Kevin
and he's
Windham
down.
Transferring, and now he's down, so Kyle Scott's going to say, thank you very much. I'll
Here
take
comes
that back.
Dale
That's
Mullins,
mine.
too. Into the 3 spot with lappers. Dawson in the way. Oh! Mullins lights up Dawson.
They split. I believe that's Edmondson on the Honda there. Well,
Yeah.
he's on the Honda for me anyways. One of the few non-KTM dynos in the field.
So Mullins, and now he's on to the back of Scott as they jump up on your little plateau off the start there. Everybody using that line. It's interesting. As Scott is trying to hold off Mullins. And we got a rider off the track. That was a lapper.
We saw Mullins be aggressive once. He
Oh.
doesn't have to this time as Kyle Scott puts himself on the ground. Here comes Adrian Wilson on by. Oh, man. You never know what's going to happen.
So Wilson back into the 3 spot. Scott back to 4th. Keyboard warrior Simon Saunter is in 5th as Grant Dawson is still all about the place there on the 243. Carvalho trying to get around him now with JTD in the mix. And D down. Oh, here comes Carvalho trying to show Saunter a wheel, but then ends up making a mistake and going off the track.
Probably back after my race.
All right, good luck, Chris.
User left your channel.
His race coming up here in a few laps. Only 3 laps to go in this open amateur division, and it's all kicking off right now. Curry still leads from Mullins and Wilson, but Wilson is down after the finish, and Kyle Scott momentarily took the spot, but Saunter T-bones him, so Wilson gets up still in the position for now. Saunter's right there as Carvalho slides through into the 4 spot. These guys are still going at it. Carvalho whips out the quad, but doesn't quite get it, and then Saunter jumps in to a lapper, and Dawson slides back through, but that is Dawson a lap down. We got 3 lappers here in front of Simon Saunter. They're all battling amongst each other, but no room or nowhere to go really for Saunter, almost into the back of one of them as Wilson's actually getting away from him now. Kyle Scott closing back in. Carvalho there in the background on the Suzuki. Oh, and Saunter goes down with one of those lappers. Kyle Scott just airing out the triple. So Curry leads, 2 laps to go. Is he going to get caught by Dale Mullins? Could be wrong, but I believe these are a couple of Aussies out front. Oh, Mullins into a lapped rider. It's weird. I think Mullins doubled the triple there. Oh, Scott has just taken over the 3 spot from Adrian Wilson. We've got 4 250s up front in this open amateur class. Very interesting. Carvalho, the first 450 in 5th. Oh, Adrian Wilson went down at the end of the rhythm. And Saunter will just squeak by. Carvalho already into 4th, got through. Dale Mullins is trying to get around these lappers. Not able to do the Supercross triple here. Finally gets through. Your leader, Blake Curry, though, long gone at the front, has about 4 straightaways of a lead, so he can afford to make that little mistake right there that he just did. Mullins down again at the end of the rhythm. He's not too far ahead of Kyle Scott anymore. He's got to really watch himself. As Scott trying to keep things close, makes a mistake at the end of the rhythm section. Here comes Carvalho, trying to be the only 450 to podium here tonight. We got 3 250s out front. And Lapper wisely jumping out of the way. Oh, and Kyle Scott is down after the Supercross triple. He's going to get up, but not before Saunter almost gets into him as Saunter just landed on the back of that Lapper. And Saunter will get up, not still in the same spot. Bartlett goes through, as does Cunningham. So these guys are trying to battle it out. Cunningham comes up short. We'll come back to this battle in just a second. Up front, Blake Curry is cruising to the line. Looks like he's trying to give somebody else their lap back, but that's a silly move. Oh, Cunningham and Saunter swapping positions as Blake Curry wins the Open Amateur main event here at the Rocky Mountain Challenge. Carvalho was down, so there goes Saunter into the 4th spot, and Cunningham throws a huge block pass on Carvalho. This is not done just yet. These guys are going to fight to the end. It's Saunter back into the 4th spot now. Kyle Scott's about to come to the finish line in 3rd. Dale Mullins has just finished up in 2nd. Cunningham. And, oh, Cunningham is stuck behind. That's Faitosa with Carvalho right there. Cunningham has the inside line on Carvalho, and Carvalho goes down. So Saunter will get 4th. Cunningham, without a crash here, should get to the line in 5th. And Faitosa ends up 6th behind them. Stinson 7th, Garachi 8th, and Carvalho, who was as high as 4th there just a moment ago, is going to end up in 9th. Yeah. Bartlett hits him across the line, ends up in 10th. Warden 11th. Burdine, no fork tubes, in 12th. Garrett Olver trying to come to the line. Adrian Wilson already rage quit in 14th. Kunitz, Harlan, Dawson, Sonny Edmondson back here in 18th. He's just going to tiptoe his Jordans through the whoops here and go down. Nate Tunnel, 19th. JTD, 20th. Ricky Williams, 21st. And Brandon Rowland, 22nd. Cuts are in, and let's see, anybody gain a position? Yes, Austin Bartlett got Carvalho on cuts. Stinson got Faitosa, or no, I'm sorry, Stinson and Faitosa both got Cunningham on cuts. Yeah, we heard Chris earlier talking about Cunningham cutting the bales and just bid him there. Top 3 stays the same though. Kyle Scott, Dale Mullins in 2nd, and Blake Curry, your winner tonight. At round 4 of the SX Madness Series presented by the Race Factor Gaming in the Open Amateur Division. Up next, we've got 12 laps on hand in the Pro-Am division, and I believe we are still ahead of schedule. Let me take a look at the schedule. Yeah, we are actually about 10 minutes exactly ahead of schedule, because this is going to take about a minute to do the warm-up lap. And then we were supposed to start this race 25 after the hour, but it's only 14 after the hour. All right, so Open Pro-Am main event coming up here in just a second. Trying to fix my cables, they're all locked together. All right, and into tonight's main event, we have, go from the back to the front, Brandon Cummings, Logan Leitzel, Chris Riesenberg, Cale Simrock, Lane Burks, Eric Martin, Michael Hodge, Logan Heagney, Clint Martin, Austin Eklund, Tyler Fry, Dwayne Cusano, Tommy Zimmerman. I'm not going to get to everybody. You can see their names across the bottom. All right, who are we going to pick to watch on the start here is the real question. And we are exactly 10 minutes ahead of schedule. James Schuler, I'll take a look at Logan Heagney. He won his heat race. He's on a 250F, so he'll probably get out-dragged in the start here by the 450s surrounding him. It's time to go racing, folks. Pro-Am action from the Rocky Mountain Challenge, and we are off and running. A good start in the middle by a Suzuki, the 241. Looks like he's going to get to the corner first, but he'll be squeezed, and from the outside, Tyler Fry on the 127 takes the whole shot. So it's Fry leading from Simrock, and then Eklund was the rider there on the 241. These three are already in a nice little gap at the front as Eklund tries to go for the lead on the outside, and then contact between the leaders at the front. Simrock had jumped off the track, and Simrock trying to hold off. Eklund tries to cut him down, and instead is going to lose a spot here, maybe to Clint Martin. Yes, he does. So Spark Moto 1-2 off the start here, but Martin quickly coughs that spot back up, and also loses a spot there to Kyler Hockey, who's sliding through. Simrock is right in front of these guys. Oh, is that Eklund, who was leading, ends up backwards, so Hockey goes to the lead. As now Martin closing in on him on the whoops, but Martin is down before the finish. Does his best JS7 impersonation and ends up down before the finish line. Eklund, got up in second and went down, and then that is Eric Martin down right there. Logan Leitzel into the back of these guys straight out of the LCQ. Almost getting landed on as Tyler Fry jumps over top. We also got Eklund regrouping, and Body Parker is up front. Let's see if Parker for some reason has his forks. So just on Burdine's bike, the Rith MX guys are a little out of shape on Burdine's bike, not having the forks, but Body Parker has his forks. Almost contact up in front between Eklund, who ends up going down, and Logan Leitzel there. Up front, Simrock is starting to cruise away at the front, which is exactly what he did in his heat race. So he might get his checkbook out and leave the restaurant early. Tyler Fry is going to try to keep him close as Hockey stands up. Leitzel goes into him, so Martin and Parker slide through. So Hockey gets up behind those guys. Oakley coming through with Eklund after losing a few more spots, still holding off Michael Hodge. Hodge runs in the 9th spot. Martin is 10th. Eric Martin, that is. Dwayne Cusano battling it out with Austin Bear for 11th. Bear has the inside line, slides it down, and Cusano hangs on. Sean Mullins is running in the 13th spot. Heagney is 14th. Riesenberg, 15th. Schuler, Perez, Cummings, Spokes, Burks, Zimmerman, Cameron. Those guys all pretty locked together at the back there. Back up front, though, Simrock a 4.8 second lead, so his lead's gone down a little bit. Fry is starting to chop away at it. And Parker's now up into 3rd as Clint Martin is trying to slide down the inside. He's got to move squared up and puts him down. A little Aussie lag to boot. He had the pass made, and it was actually a fairly clean pass, but we all know with the Australian lag, it just wraps you up in this lag bubble and sends you to the ground. Martin cases the triple. Parker coming here with Hodge. Are they going to jump over top of him side by side over the triple? And yes, they both get over him. And Parker just holding off ahead of Hodge here. Almost contact entering that corner. So Parker, Hodge, Oakley now also around Martin. So Oakley trying to make his case and move up towards the front here. Showing a wheel there to Hodge as Martin continues to trail him closely. Oh, Oakley, a mistake, goes off the berm. Martin slides through. And Parker is over the bars, which allows Hodge and Martin to go by. Oakley also going through. That lead looks to be coming down. I think Fry is starting to chop away at it some more. 3.2 seconds now. We'll go on board with Team Volcom's own Tyler Fry. Ooh, coming up short on that triple into the corner, but a nice save. Might be picking up some tips from his teammate and Supercross champion Tyson Fresquez. Gotta write her down, but that is not the race leader. Look at Fry though. Smooth lines. Doing a quad through that rhythm. He's gonna swing wide and get the triple in here. Nice. Triples again. Closing right in. That is a lapper. Fortunately, it does not take him down, but he is now right behind your race leader, Cale Simrock, over the line. A 1:03.3 puts in his best lap of the race. Under a second away from your leader. He's going to try to get him right here, I think. He's going to get this line smooth. Is he going to get the quad? Nose heavy. Woo! Good save. He's going to have to tuck inside to avoid that lapper. Nice move. We'll double, I think, here and go to the inside. Simrock is right in front of him there. Oh, tough line from Fry. Able to still get it, though. Comes up a little short on the triple out, but still keeps it close. Got some lappers in the way there. Oh, and it puts him on the deck. I think that was just incidental contact. So Simrock is now cruising. After having some pressure there from Fry, Martin is still in third. Oakley is up to fourth, but he's off the track here. He's kind of all alone in fourth for that matter. Michael Hodge is in fifth. And Buddy Parker is right behind him in sixth. And Parker gets the move done for now. A little hang up in the corner, but hangs on to it. Keeping that Rhythm X Yamaha underneath of him. Here's Austin Eklund getting saucy. Leitzel looks to be just getting up from a crash after the whoops and has lost a spot to Sean Mullins. Brandon Cummings also trying to sneak into this battle. Austin Bear is keeping these guys close too. Logan Heagney, winner of a heat race, is dropping back and has just been passed now by Chris Riesenberg. Oh, Cummings trying to avoid Sean Mullins going down right in front of him there. Michael Hodge, Eklund, Oakley, Parker, right in front of a lapper, Clint Martin. Now Simrock has a nice sizable lead. So actually let's go on board with Clint Martin for a little bit here as he's trying to run down Tyler Fry right there. Not on that Kawasaki, but on the one right in front of that. Going into the corner and turning left, jumping into the rhythm. See what kind of lines Martin's able to do on this 250F. Still trying to bust out a quad in here. Gets it, just barely though. Able to jump in there and then quad out. It's gotten right up behind Fry now. These guys are very close, both opting to take the same line into this rhythm section. Don't think Martin's going to triple in. Yes, he will. Wow. Very, very quick maneuver there. Martin on a 250F. I thought Fry was going to be able to get away from him there. But Martin nails a triple in and runs a 103 flat to boot. He has to go outside here, though, it looks like, to clear this triple. We saw him crash on that triple earlier. If you're just joining us, this class right now is the Pro-Am class. We're on lap 9 of 12 in this main event. Coming up next, stick with us. You won't want to miss the Open Pro main event, where Tyson Fresquez will try to get as much of a points lead as he can to wrap up the championship. Clint Martin has just made the pass on Tyler Fry, who has now gone down in the background. Oakley is nowhere near him, though. So spread out at the front, my word. Simrock has a nice, comfortable lead on Clint Martin. Tyler Fry is in third. Oakley is fourth. Sean Mullins down after the finish, but is still fifth. Eklund is sixth. Here's Austin Bear and Buddy Parker close together. Parker not able to clear the triple. Bear will, though, and hang on to that spot for right now. Oh, big mistake from Mr. Austin Bear there. Now Eklund under attack here from Sean Mullins, and Mullins is going to get the spot as Eklund made a mistake. Bear down the inside of Parker trying to hold the spot, but goes a little too wide in trying to do so. Eklund ends up backwards, so both Parker and Bear end up going through. Bear ends up down upside down in the corner. I think that's the race leader Simrock going by, as Eklund just got caught up with Cummings, and that was also Leitzel going through. So Leitzel and Bear now locked together with Cummings right in front of them. So this battle went from 0 to 100 real quick, as Leitzel now repasses Cummings. Cummings down the inside, elects not to do anything with that. And we got a rider down in the middle of the rhythm here. That is not a position. In fact, that's your race leader. Cale Simrock coming down to go on to lap number 12. Or I'm sorry, lap number 11 of 12. And Fry down to the end of the rhythm again. So he got the second spot back away from Clint Martin. Oakley now actually inching in on those guys a little bit. Parker is now fifth, ahead of Sean Mullins, Leitzel, Cummings, and Bear. Bear has Hodge trying to get around your race leader to get to Austin Bear, who Austin Bear goes off the track. Hodge down the inside almost punts Cale Simrock. It ends up giving him front end lock. Then Austin actually almost got landed on there by somebody. I don't know who, because that guy's a lap down. Meanwhile, Chris Riesenberg has caught this group. He is in 13th. Eklund is 12th. Hodge is 11th, but Heagney just went down, so now this is 11th. Eklund is 10th. And now those positions swap, except for Hodge just went down, so now Riesenberg is in 11th. Eklund 10th. Bear 9th. Leitzel in 8th, as the white flag is now out for your race leader right behind these guys, the 726 of Cale Simrock. Leitzel trying to go after Cummings here. Gets the quad, almost lands on him. Cummings gets the triple out though. Hangs on to the spot for now. Leitzel would do himself a favor here to try to get away from Simrock, keep his lap, and go after Cummings, but he might just get him here anyway. Cummings makes a mistake. Leitzel's got the inside line here. Into the whoops they go. He's going to shut the door. Cummings right back on him, though. Takes the spot back away. Leitzel has to settle in behind him. Oh, Sean Mullins and Bonnie Parker almost have it coming together in front of these guys. So these guys are going at it. Nothing doing really at the front though. Simrock is about to take the win here. He's just kind of cruising, trying not to get involved in these lappers as Tyler Fry is pushing to the end. Brandon Cummings repasses Tyler Fry. These lappers are ridiculous. And Cale Simrock comes on down and wins the Pro-Am main event tonight at the Rocky Mountain Challenge. Fry got close in the end but was not able to get it done. Martin will end up third. Oakley is fourth, Mullins fifth, got away from Parker in sixth. Leitzel has moved up to seventh as Bear did not beat Simrock to the line in eighth. Riesenberg ended up sliding into ninth after being as low as 13th a few moments ago. Cummings dropped back to 10th by the end of this thing. Eklund 11th. Heagney in 12th, Hodge in 13th, Schuler 14th. We'll catch up with those guys in a minute. We'll watch these battles come to the end, though. Parker still not out of the water yet with Sean Mullins. That battle for 5th. There is Mullins. Parker's got to get this last rhythm clean. And here is Sean Mullins down the inside. Parker lights him up, and there's contact. And Aussie lag at its finest. Sean Mullins goes down, but Body Parker stays up. Sean Mullins, the Aussie, for some reason, does not have any problem staying on two wheels there. But Body Parker, it was aggressive, but it was the last corner, so you got to give it to him. Logan Leitzel cruising to the line is going to be the last guy to cross the line by the looks of it. We're just waiting on him. He's got to cross the line. Waiting at the cuts. There we go. And the top 7 in front of him stay the same. Actually, only Heagney got around Schuler by the looks of it. Or I'm sorry, Schuler got around Hodge. Yeah, that's what happened. And everything else stayed the same. So congratulations to your winner tonight, Cale Simrock. I'm sure that Chase Donovan somewhere is smiling. And it moves us on to our grand finale, and 15 minutes ahead of schedule to boot, which is nice. We're going to get this wrapped up before 2 hours tonight. Cruising right along. So as Chris mentioned earlier, there is really no way that Fresquez can wrap up the title tonight unless he wins and Burkeen and Mullins do not score points. Even if Burkeen actually doesn't score any points in the main tonight, though, it will still go to the final round due to the fact that the last round is double points. So essentially make it look like it's a 6-round series. We'll see that coming up in just a second. Whoops. I don't know what that was all about. Your video card driver froze and was reset. Please check. All right, and we're back. I'm sorry about that. My graphics card just basically crashed. I don't know what just happened right there. It's still kind of doing some weird shit. Yes, Killcon 4200 or 4207. These are real people playing this game. This is a real professional gaming series that you are tuning into right now. And we are about to bring you action for the main event here from the Rocky Mountain Challenge. Live here on Star Systems TV. So glad you could join us tonight. Let's go racing! And we are underway. Chris Riesenberg joins us as the gate drops, and Fresquez versus Smith into turn 1 contact, and they're both
from LCQ had the whole shot.
Both over the berm. Yeah, Benny Landry comes out with the lead with Honeywell sitting in the 2 spot.
A wild Zach Dupuis moving into the 3rd spot right now.
And that is, I believe, yeah, Jeremy Smith
PS4.
moving into fourth as Jack Haley went down. So this is prime spot for Smith to make some good points up tonight. And with the double points bonus at the end of the season, he could still be a factor in this championship yet.
Fresquez is 11th right now.
So up front, Honeywell now taking the lead away. Landry's going backwards. Dupuy is jumping into the other side of the track. Gets just gathered up enough, holds on to the 3 spot, but now Smith is in second. And Fresquez, I just saw, was down in the rhythm section going the other way, so he's going backwards again.
I just saw Burkeen move into the number 4 spot after the finish, setting his sights on Dupuy, who has a great start.
So Honeywell is going to try to check out here, but Jeremy Smith has been very quick all night long and really wants to stay alive in this championship. Smith entered the night 5th in the title hunt, 39 points versus Fresquez on 77. And Smith earned no bonus points from the shootout. So Fresquez on 82 points theoretically, and Smith still on 39. Needs to be within 50 points of Tyson Fresquez leaving here to still be alive in the championship going to the last round.
55 points actually with the Open Pro shootout.
Oh, you're correct. Yes.
Well.
Yes, 55. So there's a lot of points on the table with that last round.
Moto format there will definitely shake things up. But for now, the job just for Smith has to be lay it down, try to run down Dade Honeywell. Honeywell with a 59-second lap time, Smith with a 1 minute, Dupuy a 1:02, and Burkeen in 4th. Benny Landry runs 5th with James Armstrong, who's been really strong as of late, running in the 6th spot.
Yep.
Lights night and open nights. At our last round in Daytona, James Armstrong was very fast, and I believe he's been looking good at the FAM series as well.
Indeed, battle for 3rd is really starting to tighten up here as Burkeen just reeled off a better lap than Dupuy that last time, as you mentioned, and actually just went down. Burkeen, a mistake. So Landry slides back through.
Update on the 21-year points leader, Tyson Fresquez was in 15th, just past 2 guys in 1 turn, has moved into the 13th spot, is trying to charge forward.
Oh, Dupuy down in 3rd. Landry moves into that spot. He's got Armstrong tailing him, and Landry, a mistake, does not get the 333. Armstrong into the 3 spot. Landry also
James
out of
Armstrong
shape.
been around a long time, but this is definitely the best I've seen him look this offseason.
Yes, indeed, he is fired up. Hopefully that means a very strong James Armstrong in Supercross this
and
year.
Smith is down,
oh,
so
no.
Armstrong into the number 2 spot and a huge lead for Dade Honeywell. We're only on lap number 4 of 15 and already a 10-second gap for Dade Honeywell out front.
It's actually a double fall off for Smith. He's just gotten passed by Mullins and a couple other people. Dupuy getting caught up there in a Brian Haskell sandwich. Haskell goes down. So Mullins and Smith end up going at it here now.
The battle is on for the 3rd spot right now. Landry has Mitchell and Burkeen both chasing him.
Yeah, Mitchell slotted into the 4th, kind of under the radar. We were watching Burkeen and Dupuy and all those guys, and Mitchell, out of the LCQ, finds himself right here.
Along with Burkeen, 2 of the guys out of the LCQ running in the top 5 early on, salvaging their nights. All that carnage in the first turn definitely must have helped them, even though Burkeen looked like he had the whole shot from the outside.
Landry getting saucy on the triple, but I thought he was going to go down. Almost makes a mistake there and ends up, he actually does make a mistake. So Mitchell takes that spot. And I think these guys are starting to pick up on the line Fresquez was doing, which is...
off the track for Armstrong, I believe.
Whoa,
Lost him somewhere.
That was a lapper, I believe, that you saw.
You're
Armstrong
correct.
Still sitting in the 2nd spot. And Landry got Mitchell back after Mitchell made a mistake. So now Burkeen's right on the rear tire of Colton Mitchell. Oh, Armstrong now actually is down. He was upside down in the berm. Got passed by all 3 of those guys. So Landry into the 2 spot. Honeywell is all out of shape in the whoops, but he's 2 whole sections ahead of Benny Landry.
Keep an eye on the 21 charging through the pack. He's up to 8th as he goes under the bridge. Just a lap and a half ago, he was in the 13 spot.
Here's Armstrong versus Burkeen battling it out for the 4 spot. Like you said, Fresquez coming through the field. Oh, and Mitchell is down after the triple. And there goes Mullins, and there goes Smith, and Fresquez also through before Mitchell gets going. Oh, Fresquez down, entering the rhythm. Kind of hard to believe Fresquez is not going to win here tonight after being over almost a second faster in qualifying than anybody else and dominating the shootout, including his heat race as well. But these guys are pretty far out front for him to come through the field and get this win, especially with how far Honeywell has his lead stretched out to now.
And 13 seconds now for Dade Honeywell as he's in some lappers going down the whoop section. Almost gets sideswiped by the 60-un machine, but gets on by. Goes around Shack Attack. Puts an air lap in the books. We're halfway through this thing next time by, so Dade Honeywell looking solid out front. Landry, another strong performance in the offseason from him. He's been a little bit inconsistent, but he's definitely showing he can run up front. He runs in the 2 spot right now. Armstrong and Mullins now. Dyson for 3rd. That's the battle, and Mullins is going to take that spot with a mistake.
Yep,
And Jeremy Smith all over him now.
Yeah, JS4 slot through in there, and it's a battle between Mullins and Smith again.
Smith's going to try to go around the outside, though choosing to follow him. See what happens here with the 2 different rhythms.
Mullins able to get away cleanly there. We saw earlier in the night during qualifying Fresquez.
Oh, Mullins is down.
Oh, so Smith does get that spot. I was going to say we saw Fresquez nearly able to nail the triple on from the outside, and if Smith could have done it there, he'd have closed up a little bit.
Oh,
Mullins into a lapper. That was Rush Chapman.
Armstrong down as well. Smith slides out a little bit, but saves it.
So Landry scooting away. Still nobody's able to do anything about Honeywell at the front. Mitchell up to 4th.
4th now.
Yep.
Landry holding that lead in check at 13 seconds, but Honeywell take a 13-second lead all day long if you can just keep running these lap times. Keep her on 2.
Fresquez trying to close in on James Armstrong. It's the closest battle inside of the top 10 right now.
Speaking of the top 10, let's give you the Race Tech top 10 rundown. Race Tech suspension and engine services. Quality performance guaranteed. Your leader, Dade Honeywell, Prime Design Graphics rider, the number 24, been strong all race. Comes across the finish, past the halfway flags. He's on to lap number 9 of 15. Running in the 2 spot is Benny Landry on the number 88 machine. He comes down into the whoop section to put an air lap in the books. Clocks a 101 lap time. Jeremy Smith runs in the number 3 spot. He clocks his fastest lap of the race at a 59.3 as he comes across and tries to put the hammer down. He's about 5 seconds back from Benny Landry in the number 2 spot. Bolton Mitchell finds himself in 4th on the number 10, giving chase about 4.5 to 5 seconds back as well from a podium spot. He's got Jesse Mullins giving chase right behind him a couple seconds back, another Prime Design Graphics rider. James Armstrong battling it out with Tyson Fresquez over the number 6 spot. Fresquez finally must have had a clean lap last time around as he dropped into the 59s, closer to his qualifying time. He's going to split lines here with Armstrong, try to make the move, going high over the tables. He's going to look inside here. Trying to make hay while the sun's shining. Tyson Fresquez will stay on this battle here and see what happens. Like a few guys electing to use that inside going into the kind of that turning rhythm there that Fresquez was working earlier.
Yeah, did you expect them to be able to do that?
Yeah, just it's really technical, so I didn't know how often they'd be doing it, but looks like most of the pro guys getting it figured out.
Oh, Fresquez
Bar to
showed
bar
him a wheel.
over the triple. Fresquez going to try his inside. Armstrong going to go to that high line around the outside. Makes a mistake. I don't know if he's even going to get that quad. He doesn't, and that allows Fresquez to sneak right on by into the 7 spot.
It seems like all night long Fresquez has made that line
right?
work. Oh, that was
Schmidt down.
Yeah.
Flapper. Armstrong going to have a chance to strike back on Fresquez here.
Trying to pull alongside, coming into the corner, but likes not to triple into the back of Fresquez.
Absolutely. Running in 8th right now. The DX3 ride of the 45 of Devin Davis. He's a 23 seconds behind. So he's got a lot of work to do if he's going to move any further forward, but a solid top 10 performance here from Davis. Running in 9th. Getting ready to go a lap down is the number 6 of Zach Dupuy, run for Team SYS. I don't know if you know what SYS is, Kellen, do you?
Something. I don't know. Never heard of it before, though.
And rounding out your top 10, the FamiMex Race Tech Ride. That's FamiMex.com Race Tech Ride of Craig Richards on the number 65. And that is your Race Tech top 10 rundown.
Looks like
Honeywell's lead, 16 seconds. Battle for second is on.
Oh, and Landry made a mistake, but stayed up somehow.
I think if that was anyone else other than Smith, they probably would have dove into that inside. Jeremy is a little more patient than most riders. Cartwheeling bike, these guys are going to both jump over it. Smith's going to quad up into the number 2 spot.
Yeah, Landry
very keeps polite. It clean as well.
Rider down, and they just jump over him. I think that was Chase to
sell.
sell.
Landry going to come back inside.
Contact.
Makes a mistake.
Both down. Rush Chapman just plows into him and then keeps holding it wide open, because why not?
Mullins is going to take advantage. Mitchell as well. So Jeremy Smith lost a ton of time with that. 3 spots as well.
Yeah, he's still stuck behind Reed Young, who was not able to clear the triple. Smith almost jumped into him. Now Fresquez trying to close in.
Fresquez is right there, and he needs these points
badly. Armstrong actually almost had Fresquez back. They were bar to bar over the triple, but Armstrong cased the triple, allowed Fresquez to get away.
With all that chaos for the number 2 spot. Speaking of that, Landry goes off the track but saves it. There's a 21-second lead now for Honeywell, who hits a lapper and is down, but he has a huge lead.
It's going to tighten things up a little bit, though. Put the pressure on, another fall-off crash, and then it'll be really interesting. Honeywell's just cruising. Oh, Frizzaco almost landed on him, though. So Mullins is doing what he needed to do in beating Fresquez tonight. He really needs to go up and try to win this race if he wants to keep this points race closer. But no Burkeen sighting inside of the top 10 is bad news for his championship hopes.
Absolutely. I know when we did the top 10 rundown, he was 11th, and he still is there. He does have Richards and Davis right in front of him. There's a great 3-way battle right here as Richards quads up inside Devin Davis. They both go to the turn, both going for the same spot. Davis surrenders the spot. Now Burkeen getting to go after him.
Davis, little mistake entering the rhythm, ends up cross-jumping down the inside off the track. Burkeen's going to slice underneath, side by side through the whoops, and Burkeen rocking it a little bit, but still bar to bar over the finish line. Dualies.
More heads-up racing from Davis, giving him a little bit of room. Now I think he's actually going to jump off the track to the side. Yeah. He saves it, but loses the spot.
Now he's going to try the inside line here that Fresquez has been using. And that's Schmidt heating way. And Davis takes the spot back, but Burkeen, wise to it, cuts back underneath. Davis back underneath.
Epic racing right now from these guys. Yeah. Keeping it clean as well. And they're about to go a lap down.
Davis going to try that line. Almost contact. Burkeen up in the air. Doesn't get the whole drive. Now Davis alongside makes contact, and front end lock takes him to the ground.
And Seabolt going to capitalize on that as well around the outside of him.
Richards and Dupuy are going at it in front of these guys as well. Richards quadding onto the table from the outside there, but Dupuy able to sneak away a little bit.
Oh, Richards going to clip the back wheel, still able to triple up again.
Dupuy a mistake. Richards jumps in behind him. Wheel-to-wheel action. Richards a better drive through the whoops as well, but Dupuy holding tough.
Update at the front of the field. It's shaking up a lot for the number 2 spot. Mullins has it now. Mitchell up to 3rd. Smith up to 4th. Fresquez 5th. And then comes Benny Landry all the way back to the number 6 spot. The wheels came off the number 88 machine. You'd think with all those circles in the number, you could put them back on the bike.
Well, it's last lap right now. Honeywell's leading this thing home. It's actually a Prime Designs 1-2. Mitchell's holding down the 3 spot, and Smith and Fresquez are going at it with Devin Davis hopping in between them. Battle on the track is Smith versus Fresquez on the last lap here. Fresquez going to triple in. Smith using the inside line. Going to try to pull up behind Mitchell, but he makes a mistake and is not able to do the line. Fresquez tripling to the inside, gets him. Now will Fresquez go after Mitchell is the question.
Coming down the last set of whoops, though, is your leader looking to take the win around number 4.
Dade Honeywell. takes the win, yeah, and round number 4, the Rocky Mountain Challenge. And it will be a prime 1-2, and they'll hold off, I think, Mitchell. Fresquez is trying to blitz the whoops, as is Smith, and
Smith got great drive down the
Fresquez actually got third because Mitchell went down right before the finish with the lappers in front of him. So Fresquez ends up on the podium with Smith only 0.3 behind him. Landry holds on to 6th. Armstrong 7th. Burkeen now in front of Zach Dupuis in 8th. And Richards holds down the last spot inside of the top 10, and Devin Davis has already finished in 11th. So it's between these 3 guys now. Armstrong across in 7th. Let's see if Burkeen can bring it to the line. At least able to salvage some points on the night with an 8th. Fresquez did only get 3rd. And Burkeen will indeed pick up that 8th spot. Dupuis in 9th over the line, and Richards rounds out your top 10. Cuts are in. And no cuts for Actually, Fresquez and Smith both had almost identical cuts. Otherwise, Smith may have gotten him. But your winner, Dade Honeywell. Round 2 of the SX Madness series. All right. Well, awesome night of racing once again here at the SX Madness series. You guys will be joining us next week. I sure hope so, for the finale on the Las Vegas Strip. Double points round, the team championship on the line as well. It's going to be a chaotic night of racing. What did you think of hosting tonight, Chris?
Well, everything went smoothly, and we're done well earlier than we've been, so I'm excited about that. Try to get these guys out of here at a decent time, and I think the track raced way better than I expected. This was by far my least favorite track of the series, so super excited that it ended up racing well. I mean, there was actually decent line choice and such, and that's always a plus to allow guys to mix it up and come through the pack and such. So all positives. I mean, like I said, I was really nervous with the track and stuff, and races ran smoothly. So one more round and 3 more nights of racing. We'll be back lights night on Sunday night, and then we have our normal open night with double points 2-moto format for the pros coming on Thursday night, and then the following Sunday it'll be the first annual team championship invitational, and that thing should be awesome to watch. 4 classes, 4 rider teams, all going for the mysterious Vanderhoof Cup.
All right, well, that is going to do it for us here tonight at the Rocky Mountain Challenge Round 4 of the SX Madness Series. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and like Chris said, we hope to see you guys next week for that finale. It's going to be such a killer night of racing, and we will see you then. For Chris Riesenberg and Kellen Brauer here in the SYS TV booth, we'll see you guys next week.